Welcome to the Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
You want all my love and my devotion. You want my love and soul right on the line. I have no doubt that I could love you forever. The only trouble is I really don't have the time. One night only, that's all I have to spare.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today is a well-known, highly regarded singer. You can bet on that. For a number of years and still continuing, this lady keeps the Motown sound alive as a member of the former Ladies of the Supremes. And if that's not enough, she's also a playwright who has written over 20 screenplays and 3 stage plays alone. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a dear lady I know, Scherrie Payne. Hi, Scherrie. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Actor's Choice. Hi there, my dear. When they say the Motown sound, you know, I always pat my feet to the beat. And it's good folk like you that keep it all together. Very good. When he started January 12, 1959, it's still growing. Do I have to tell you that?
Can you believe it? Whoa.
Wow. Thank you for what you've done in keeping that sound alive all these years. Wow. It's a hard job. People don't understand. They see, oh, they think that's easy. They get up on the stage. It's easy. So tell them about that work you got to do. And living in hotels and all that good stuff.
That's right. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. Rehearsal after rehearsal. You have to get those steps down right. You have to get those notes down right. If you're a little flat or a little sharp, you got to tighten up. So, and that's one thing I remember Barry always emphasized in the beginning, because my sister Frida was actually his first artist before he even had Motown. He hadn't even thought about it yet, but he was still working in the auto plant, but he was writing songs along with Jackie Wilson. And I think we were probably about 12 and 14, maybe 13, 15. But I remember he came to one of our ballet classes. We were taking ballet lessons from a Russian teacher, Nicholas Sokolov, I remember was his name. How do I remember that all those years ago?
Good memory.
Yeah. And he had his ballet studio. I think it was on Woodward, but it was in Highland Park. But anyway, and I think Barry had heard about Frida and came to check her out. And we were both taking our ballet classes. But my mother had grown up in the church, Bethel AME Church, with Barry and his family. So she knew him. She was older, she was 9 years older, in fact, and she worked in Mama and Papa Gordy's store for a while as a teenager. And she said Barry was running around with his apron tucked up and pulled up. He was maybe probably about 9 years old or something. And she was like 17. But anyway, and so she was friends with his sisters. And I think she and Esther were the same age. And then there was Anna and Lucille and Gwen, and but anyway, so she grew up in the church, and that's the church we attended as well. And I think Diana mentioned that she had gone to Bethel, but I don't remember her. And so, because we went to Sunday school, vacation Bible school, Mama had us at all stuff. We had to go to church on Sunday, and if you didn't go, you couldn't do anything else. We couldn't play rock and roll music on Sunday. We couldn't iron or anything like that. Oh no. But anyway, and I've forgotten the point. The question she asked me, because I just talk and talk.
Gotcha. That's okay. That's all right.
Rehearsals. Yeah, rehearsals.
Yeah, rehearsals. Anyway,
Barry always made a point when he was interested, wanted to manage her. He told her, and she was going over to his place for rehearsing with him, and he would have different people pick her up. I think Eddie Kendrick said he had picked her up several times. I don't remember that, but there were others. Marvin. What was Marvin's last name?
Gaye.
No, not Marvin. I would remember him. In fact, he died on stage while he was singing down, I think, in Tennessee. But anyway, that's another story. But she said he was a stickler for the melody. Always establish the melody. If you want to do something later on, do your little riffs or whatever, establish the melody first. And he was a huge fan of Doris Day, and I guess maybe that's where he got it from, but that's what he said. And I remember he wanted to manage Frida. He and his business partner, George, I can't think of his last name. He owned a club in Detroit. And we all drove to New York in George's white Cadillac, me, Mama, and Frida. It must have been like 1958, something like that, or maybe even 57. And Frida had recorded a couple of songs for him, Father Dear, The Moon Rock, and Saving Me a Star, something like that, which it's on the first real tape of Motown. Believe it or not, yeah. And so, but anyway, we rode to New York in George's white Cadillac, I remember. And I remember stopping on the way on the turnpike at Howard Johnson's, and Barry had a do. That's what we call a do, process, but we call
hair
it
do. Yes, process.
Yeah, and he had this black rag scarf tied around his head. I remember he had either black or dark brown leather jacket. So they all got out to go to the restaurant, and Barry was getting out, and I said, "You're not going in that restaurant wearing that do rag, are you?" He said, and he got out of the car. And I stayed in the back seat. I was too embarrassed to go in. So I sat in the car, and I could look over and see them sitting at a table at the window. And I kept looking and looking, and I was so hungry. So finally I got out the car and went in the restaurant.
Goodness. Now, you were born in Detroit, right?
Born and raised in Detroit.
Born and raised.
Right.
Okay.
Went to Crosman Elementary School, then Hutchinson High School, where Frida also attended, along with Aretha Franklin and Lamont Dozier, and I think Brian and Edward. They all went there. And then, we went to Central. Aretha and Smokey went to Northern High School. Okay.
Okay. Now, we got a photo here. Can you show the next photo there, would you please, Tony? Who is this lady here in the next? Oh, gotcha.
That's me.
That's me. There you were. When I found it, I said, "Oh yes, put that on." Thank you, Tony. Put that on. Thank you. Thank you. Can you show the next one, Tony? The next video, next photo, please. You ready?
Oh, that's me and my big sister. And Mama always dressed us alike. You can see we were dressed alike there.
Yes.
She always dressed us alike. And I remember one time she said, somebody stopped her on the street and said, "Oh, they're so cute. Are they twins?" Now, Frida was this high, light, and I was this short and brown. Now, how could we be twins? I guess we could have been, But, no, we weren't twins. But anyway.
Okay. The year was 1964. You were in a group called the Michigan State Lewis Hillman Jazz Quartet.
Yes. Wow.
Did my homework.
I think that was his name. It was a jazz quartet. And I was at Michigan State.
Yes.
And living in North Case Hall.
Okay, Tony, can you show that one?
And
there you go.
There you go. Wow, that's me. Wow, man. Oh my goodness.
It was my homework.
Wow.
Right.
Oh my, what precious memories. Oh, I used to sing on campus, off campus too, and make our little money. I can't remember how much we made. It probably wasn't much, but it was a lot to us back then. Yes. And I was also am a member of Delta Sigma Theta.
Okay.
Epsilon chapter at Michigan State, which I'm a proud member of. And we just recently reunited those members who are still with us on Zoom. So that's a wonderful, it was a wonderful time. Wonderful time.
Moving right along, you got a chance to join an organization called the Glass House.
Yes.
Living in a glass house. There you are. Don't
Invictus Records. Invictus Records. I remember Frida had signed with Invictus prior, and she had come home. She was living in New York. She had come home and for a visit. And while she was in the kitchen talking to Eddie Holland on the phone, I went to the piano and I started playing as loudly as I could. The song I had written, I had wanted it for Gladys Knight and the Pips. It was called "Everybody Should Know a Little Pain." That was the name of it. As I was singing as loud as I could, so Frida called me to the phone. She said, "Eddie wants to talk to you." I said, "Okay." So he called me to the phone. He said, "What was that you were playing?" I said, "Oh, just a little tune I wrote. I have lots more." He said, Would you like to audition for our company, Invictus Records? And I said, well, I don't care. So he said, I'm going to send somebody around to pick you up. Is that okay? I said, sure. So they had Ron Dunbar pick me up and took me over to Lamont Dozier's house in Palmer Woods. And I sat down at his white piano with the glass top. And I think Eddie and Brian were there. But Kenley Jackson, Jeffrey Bowen.
Yes.
Anyway, I played about 4 or 5 songs and they said, that's enough. That's okay. We would like to sign you to our company, but we don't need another lead singer because we already have Frida, I think Eloise Laws, the Honeycomb. But anyway, so we're going to put you in a group and with Ty Hunter. Ty Hunter was the baddest tenor singer. Boy, he was tough. Even Richard Street said he was the best tenor in the country. But anyway, Ty Hunter, and he said, we're going to build a group around you and Ty, and it's going to be the Glass House. I said, okay. So they got recruited Pearl Jones and Larry Mitchell. But actually, the first before Pearl was Gloria Hendry from James Bond. And we're still friends to this day. Gloria came for about 4 or 5 months, and then she realized it really wasn't for her. So she went back to New York, and then that's when an actress, it wasn't meant to be. See, look what God did. Open up those doors. She became a James Bond girl and just kept on soaring. Go Gloria.
Tony, can you show the next picture there? Holland, though, if you're Holland, who's the other gentleman in there?
Ty Hunter.
That's the gentleman.
Brian and Frida. That's the late Ty Hunter.
Ooh.
Fabulous. Ooh.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
That's when you
saw Brian at a surprise birthday party for Mickey Stevenson last Tuesday. And Brian and his wife Cassandra came.
How's Mickey doing?
He's doing great. 85, and he looks fantastic. He looks absolutely fantastic.
Give him my best.
Oh, Mickey, yeah. And Smokey came. It was a wonderful affair. His wife Michelle surprised him with.
Yes, indeed. Okay, you started your career with the Glass House. You signed with Invictus, and then between 1969 and 72, the Glass House released 2 albums, 9 singles, including a solo track that you did called VIP.
Right, yeah, the VIP, along with Greg Perry. Let's see, she's a VIP, a very important person to me. Oh, yeah.
Get it, girl.
That's all.
Up in here. Oh, God. 1972, the band quietly got away from each other. Then in 73, you became the final lead singer of Motown's legendary recording group, the Supremes.
Yes. So proud of that. And it's all because of Lamont Dozier Jr. or Lamont Dozier rather, Sr. And he had gone to California on a business trip and gone to an affair and ran into Mary Wilson. And she told him that Jean Terrell was just leaving the Supremes. And could he recommend anyone else to be lead singer to take her place? And he said, well, sure. My girlfriend at that time, Scherrie Payne, she's the member of the group, The Glass House. So he had me to send some albums and photos to Mary, overnighted it. And it was a Thursday night, I remember. And my mother called and said, Mary Wilson just called you. And gave me the number to call her back. And I was at my best friend's house, Walter and Barbara Gaines.
Yes.
Walter was a member of the group, The Originals, and he's no longer with us, but Barbara is still my best friend to this day. But anyway, so I called Mary and she said, I love what you sent. And can you come to Los Angeles? I said, well, yeah, when? She said, how about Saturday? I said, Saturday? And this was Thursday night. She said, yeah, I have a ticket waiting for you right at the desk. And I said, oh, okay. And so after I hung up, everybody's yelling and screaming and congratulating me, Lamont, Barb, Walt. And then Lamont dropped me off at home and I told my mother and I said, am I crazy? The Supremes, that's too big. I'm too scared. And my mother gave me that big mama talk that mothers will do. And my mother was a real supporter of Frida and me. And so then Saturday morning, Walt's brother picked me up, Herbert Gaines, and took me to the airport and landed in Los Angeles. And Cindy Birdsong and her husband at that time, Charles Hewlett, picked me up and took me straight to Mary's house. And we started rehearsing. And I didn't know there was a gig the following Saturday in New Mexico at the State Fair. Like, what? So I had all this to learn. So Mary said, well, I'll take a couple of the songs for you so you don't have too much. But I had to learn steps, lyrics, everything. It was like, I had no time to be nervous because there was so much to do.
Right. Let's fast forward for just a minute because of lack of time. You got into a group called the Scherrie and Suze, formerly the Supremes. Can you show us a picture of that? Look at those ladies. Look at those ladies. My goodness.
Along with Joyce Vincent.
Yes, ma'am.
For a while, it was Jean Terrell, Linda Lawrence, and myself. We were the
Yes.
former ladies of the Supremes, and then Jean left, and we had some replacements: Freddie Poole, Sundre Tucker. But
Yes.
then Linda decided to retire about 3 years ago, and Suze came in, who was
Yes.
the last Supreme. And Joyce Vincent was with Invictus Records doing backgrounds with her sister Pam Vincent and Telma Hopkins. And then Joyce and Telma left Invictus and went with Tony Orlando and became Tony Orlando and Don. But
Wow.
Joyce and I have been friends since 1968. She and Pam, they're like family to me. So
Yeah.
when we needed a replacement for when Linda left, well, actually, she was with us with Linda. But anyway, so when that third spot, so Joyce is my dear friend, but we always introduce her and let her do a couple of the songs from Tony Orlando, like Knock
Right.
3 Times, Candida, a couple of others. But she's a wonderful singer and a great friend. She
Gotcha.
and her sister Pam.
Speaking of introduction, roll it. Tony, would you roll that next clip, please?
Everybody gets to go to the moon, yeah. Everybody gets to go. It will be quite soon. It's customary in songs like this. You use the word like June. By the light of the silvery, let's take a flight to the silvery. You know, everybody's going to the moon.
Wow. We got just a few more moments left, but I just want to show 2 more pictures before you get out of here. One, when you show that next photo for us, Tony, look at this picture. When I saw it, I went, oh my goodness. Frida, Martha Reeves, and Scherrie Payne. Wow.
I think that was at the Hal Awards, I think.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Okay.
Mhm. And with the last picture that we had, I have to show this one because this one will bring back some memories. Oh! This is you the first time you came to TAC, our show. And here I am sitting, we were in a little studio down on, what was it, one of the streets down there, La Brea, wherever.
Washington or something, or Pete.
Something like that. Who that guy in the middle?
That's my dear friend Donald Welch.
Thank you.
He's
Thank you.
family.
Donald.
He is our family. He's my brother. I love Donald. He's responsible for
Thank you,
putting on at least 3 of my plays. It Always Rains on Sunday, A Lady in Waiting. We were getting ready to put on 10 Good Years in 2020, but then the pandemic hit.
Yes.
And we had to cancel all the plays at the Barnstall Theater in Hollywood.
Wow. Wow.
Donald just got nominated won several film festivals for his short film Baby
Yes.
Girl, which is excellent.
Scherrie, I hate to do this to you, but we ran out of time. We got to get you back again.
Yeah, because I talk a lot, you see.
Well, that's all right. We talk. We love to hear you talk. You got a lot to say, my dear. A lot to say. I want to thank you so much for being here today. Please give my best to your sister Frida, and of course the rest of your
will.
family. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Scherrie Payne. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you all.
God bless you,
Stay
my dear.
safe.
God bless you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, by now you've probably heard about the passing of legendary actor Sidney Poitier last Friday. Roll that tape, would you please? Tape.
Was Mr. Colbert ever in this greenhouse, say last night about midnight? Mrs. Drayton, I'm medically qualified, so I hope you wouldn't think it presumptuous if I say you ought to sit down before you...
He was 94 when he passed. No one would say, or one could say, that the world has lost an icon. He was a trailblazing actor whose movie roles in the 1950s and 1960s opened the door for generations of Black performers. He gained history in 1964 when he received the Best Actor Academy Award for his role in the film Lilies of the Field. This was the first African-American to win for a leading role. Poitier remained active on stage and screen and became a part of the civil rights movement in the 60s. Roles in 1967 with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and To Sir with Love were landmarks in helping to break down social barriers between Blacks and whites. Poitier, as you see, the President of the United States has given him the top award there. Poitier was left behind many, many treasures in his business, this business. May he rest in peace and may his memories always, always be a blessing. Thank you. Roll it, Tony.
As a romantic guy, it's definitely not to get harsh rhythm word and pass it on to the script.
Speaking of technical side, how do you keep the momentum going with all the pandemic shutdown and, keep the vision and then improv it?
Yeah, you have to keep going. Like the pandemic is definitely something that hurts everyone's job, but I think you have to keep going. And no matter how.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pretty little lady that you saw standing off to the right, that is our next guest today. She's an award-winning entertainment PR strategist, a publicist, film producer, and founder of the Espada PR and entertainment public relations firm founded in 2003. When you say that word, you think of that lady right there. For 20 years, she's been working in this town, and she's got a good job. Please welcome Jasmin Espada. Greetings, Jasmin. Welcome once again to the Actors Church. We got together a couple of years back, and I'm always working with you and your people. We can't say enough about what the service you've helped us out in doing. We want to get the word out to as many people. This is a diverse program that we do. We want to make it just like you do. You're into diversity, and you want to make sure you get everybody here. Not just because I'm black. This ain't gonna be a black show. We're gonna do a little bit of everything, and I thank you for what you do. We just saw you in action there at the red carpet at one of your clients. Lady, you never stop. You're always the best. Please tell us where you were born.
Well, first of all, thank you, Ron, for having me. I mean, I should be interviewing you. You're the legend here. You're Ron Brewington, okay? So I'm honored to be here. Where was I born? Well, it was in a galaxy far, far away. In the small town of Ponce, Puerto Rico, I was born. Grew up in Salinas, which is nearby. And then, I'm a Southern girl. I'm from the South of Puerto Rico.
What got you into this business? You went to school? What made you do this?
Well, I always knew that I was going to be doing something regarding to broadcasting. Very early on when I was in college, I was part of a radio show in Ponce on KRLEO with Jonathan Goitia. He used to do entertainment interviews, and I had my own segment, but I used to do it only when I went home from college. So it was kind of a side thing that I was doing, but years passed, and then I had a really good friend who is a publicist, and she was a great inspiration for me. And it kind of turned into more publicity because I really also like to develop talent. So it was kind of a combination of both. But it was another female, inspiration.
Gotcha. Would you please, Tony, put that logo up for Espada? Oh, there it is. Oops, there it is. Oh, you see that? When you see that on a piece of paper, you know you're getting the best. You're getting the best. Wow.
Thank you so much.
You guys are brand known for developing, packaging, and launching talent. Let's take a look. We got a couple of your talent people. This guy's name is Issei Morales.
Yeah.
Handsome young man, award winner. Yancy Arias.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Chef Eddie Garza.
Correct.
I remember sitting down doing an interview with him. That man is one of the best in the world, ladies and gentlemen. You get to know him. He can cook some food.
Yes. Plant-based food. He's amazing. He's one of the top 20 in the world.
Yes. My goodness. And he's one of your clients.
Yes, correct.
So, folks, if you want to get in touch with him, go through this lady. She's a lady. Expansion of Espada PR is a production company and one-stop shopping for everything in entertainment. Is that what you're doing now?
Yes, it was organically happened that way where, because we do more than publicity. I am very concerned with the development. I like to develop talent. I like to be strategic about a career. Like, okay, so this is where you are now. So let's see where you're going. And what is it that is special about your story? And where does that story fit in the whole narrative of Hollywood? That's what I love to do. So it's more like I'm a little bit manager, a little bit agent, a little bit attorney sometimes.
You do everything. One of your major accomplishments, I understand, was shooting a movie in December at the Dominican Republic.
Yes, that was a kind of an emergency situation because the movie had to start shooting principal photography before the year was over. So we did the casting and everything like in the month of December, and we flew talent, one from the lead from Canada, another one from here from LA, and we had others that went from different states. And yeah, they shot the movie for principal photography. Now it's going to resume in New York. It's a romantic comedy, and it was great fun. I did it with Kiki Melendez, which is also a client and a great comedian. So yeah, we had fun with that, but it was kind of hectic.
I understand you're the first publicist to bring a camera inside a United States prison, in spite of the Supreme Court law prohibiting them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a very interesting story because our client, it's a documentarian, and he needed to interview an inmate in Folsom Prison, from all places, right? And of course, for months, I spoke to so many people in California Department of Corrections, California Bureau of Prisons, and always got the same answer. Well, you know, Mrs. Espada, there's a Supreme Court mandate that we don't have cameras inside prison. So I just kept trying, because the client will not take no for an answer, which is incredible, and it's such an incredible learning experience for me. So one day somebody, from the Bureau of Prisons, was about to give me the same spiel, like, sorry, we can't do it. But he, I could hear him shuffling papers, and he goes, wait a minute. Anyway, long story short, the crew of America's Most Wanted had requested a permission from the Supreme Court to do an interview of an inmate. And he said, well, you know what? If you come the same day at the same time, I will look the other way. So our crew came with the crew of the America's Most Wanted, and we did our interview. So, yeah.
That attitude that you have, lady, is where you got you. Have beautiful, beautiful attitude. First Latina publicist to become a member of the Television Academy.
Yes.
That'd be you?
Yeah, that'd be me. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was told later, maybe years later. It's when, I wasn't really thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be the first. No, it was like, I wanted to be a member. It's an incredible organization. And I'm very proud of the accomplishments of the TV Academy and how they support members. And, but yeah, then another publicist told me, no, you were the first one. I'm like, okay, that's great. So that's another first.
First. Nothing like it. Nothing wrong with that. Dispelling the myth of when it is the right time to hire a publicist. A lot of people, you and I both know, there are a lot of actors out here, actresses, they don't have a publicist.
Right.
So what do you do?
Yeah, sometimes big stars. Well, because there's a lot of false information about when is it that you need a publicist. Well, there's different kinds of publicists, right? You need a publicist that only writes press releases, then you hire that one when you are something to promote. But if you want somebody in your corner that is also developing your career, saying, hey, you know what? I need you to meet this producer. Or, you know what? I need you to be in this red carpet because this director is going to be there and I want you to, that's when you call us. You know what I mean? So that means that the moment to have a publicist is when you decided to be talent.
You have taken your business into a different direction now. Now you're getting into the film industry. One thing that you have right now is called Brooklyn's Story. Can you show that?
Yes, that's one of the projects. It's a best-selling book by Suzanne Corso. It's published by Simon & Schuster, and that's one of the. There's 3 books. There's Brooklyn Story. The second one is called The Sweet Life, and the third one is called Hello Hollywood. So it's a 3-book deal that we're working on that one. And it's an incredible honor for me to work in a New York-based story, because in New York, it's almost like, well, most films are like, okay, well, let's make sure that diversity is there, right? With a story based in New York, you don't have to worry about diversity.
Another project you're working on.
It's
right there. Exactly. Another project you're working on right now is called 11 Days in Hell. Can you tell us about that now?
11 Days in Hell, another project very close to my heart, is the longest prison siege in the history of the United States. Nobody knows about it, or very little people know about it, because it happened during Watergate.
Yes.
A Mexican narco that predates the Sinaloa cartel took the most highest security prison in Texas, the oldest maximum security prison in Texas, hostage for 11 days.
Mhm.
And the story is about what happened during those 11 days. And it's an incredible story that is really not a Latino story. It's, again, a multicultural. We
Mhm.
have everybody in that story. So I'm also happy to be working on that one.
Being a busy person that you are, what's a typical day like for you?
A typical day, it's always different. It's always different. The only thing that is always the same is that I'm into Bikram yoga, and I do that 4 times a week. Everything else is around that, but it's either talking to clients, we are getting ready for a red carpet or an event. As you know, Camille, my right hand woman, we're always on the move. So it's always, there she is.
There she is.
It's always very different. So it goes from day to day. It could be, but there's no quiet days. Let's put it that way. There's always something.
When you say Camille, that lady is too much. I love working with her. She's a marvelous piece of work. I can't believe it. I always tease all the time, and she knows this all the time. I says, Camille, when you gonna come and be a guest on our show? Oh no, I don't do that kind of stuff. I'll do that kind of, but one of these days we're gonna get her on the show. One of these days.
Yes,
I know she's listening to this
fantastic.
right now and just falling out right now, but she is.
Fantastic.
She knows her craft. She, like you say, your right hand lady. Oh, and your right foot and your left hand. Oh, she's everything.
No, it took me years to find somebody like Camille, like that. I had other attempts, so that were not as successful.
Got you. Tony, can you show that next slide that we have there? This is one. Can you tell me what this one? What is this one?
Well, that was the other night. We were in Beverly Hills. That's me with Isai Morales and his management team. And you see Eric Kritzer there, Adam Griffin. Those are his 2 managers. There's also Steve Muller from Innovative Artists, his agent, next to the wonderful Josiah Akinelli. And there's also Nikki Davis, which is Isai's producer partner. So it was a very interesting night.
Can you tell us of any project that you're doing that you can't talk about right now, but you're in the process of doing?
Yeah, well, with Isai, we're working on Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 7 just wrapped, which I'm not supposed to call it Mission Impossible 7, but everybody is, so I'm going to call it Mission Impossible 7. Gotcha. And now he's going, in a few weeks, I guess, beginning of February, he's going to go on 8, which is the next Mission Impossible installment in the franchise. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful experience to work with Paramount on that.
All I can say is you've been here 20 years. Could you give us 20 more years, please?
Yes, of course. I'm not going anywhere.
Jasmin, I want to thank you, sincerely thank you for being our guest today here on TAC. We thank you very much for all the clients that you have sent to us to be on this show. Continue best wishes to you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. Roll it, Donnie.
Do you feel anything unusual in this house?
By unusual, do you mean, do I sense any spirits?
I think Joshua is trying to contact me. I think that he's still here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my third guest today is a gentleman who wears many, I mean many hats here in Hollywood. He's a noted publicist, producer, and manager representing some of the top actors and actresses and filmmakers in the entertainment industry. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pride, please welcome Joe Williamson. Joe, greetings to you. Thank you, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Joe?
Thank you so much for, hello, can you hear me?
Oh, loud and clear.
Hello?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, yes, thank you so much for having me on. I'm beyond honored. Love your show and a big fan of your work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much. Joe, I just want to say once again, last week, you sent us one of your clients, an actor, producer, director named Harley Wallen. Sir, we had a marvelous, marvelous time with that guy. And I see you got a whole bunch of people. Where were you born at, sir?
I was born downtown New York.
Downtown New York City. The city's so nice, they named it twice. Yes. The city's so pretty, they call it New York City. I'm from New York City myself. And then we all seem to make that journey from the East Coast to out here. When did you first come out here to Hollywood?
I came out here, I'd say, in my 20s.
Okay. And then.
And I'm sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
Yes, I came out here in my 20s and loved it out here, and I've never went anywhere else since then.
I see. Now, there's a story about how you were discovered. I understand his name is Jeff Connors, son of the rifleman Chuck Connors.
Yes, I was a big fan of the rifleman and Chuck Connors, and this is before I got in the business. I was more or less a businessman, and but I knew a mutual friend who knew him, and he gave us an introduction, and then he encouraged me to get into the business. And then and he looked just like the dad. I used to tease him all the time. I said, "Didn't your dad dramatize the nation and kill that dog in Old Yellow?" He said, "No, that wasn't my dad. That was the other guy in the movie." But
Yes.
I was a big fan of his, and he got me in the business, and that was a start. And I got bit by the bug, and I originally started doing like appearances, like at the conventions and so forth, and then I ended up branching off into doing some PR work, and then I ended up from there ended up getting into filmmaking and so forth, and even a little bit acting once in a while. And it just like in this town, I'm sure as you know, you have to wear many, many different hats. But
how many do you wear, sir?
I've lost count. It seems like every day you have to wear a new one. Must do is a good master.
Wow.
But yeah, it's but you gotta love what you do, and and there's many different forms of artwork, and poetry, singing, and then film is also one of my personal favorite forms for the artwork.
Gotcha. As I looked at your resume on IMDb, this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, 52 credits as a producer. His first producer credit was in 2014 TV series called An Intimate Look at Michelle Tomlinson. He was an associate producer at that time. Remember that?
Yes. That was a talk show about people which went through difficult times and rose above it. People which took tragedy and turned it into triumph. And that was, I remember when I first got involved in that as a producer, and I really fell in love with that show. It was a great honor to be a part of that series.
You were also an actor.
And yes, I sometimes do acting, just small, tiny roles. It's sometimes, the filmmaker feels there's a part, and, they think it'd be, a good fit for me. Sometimes I'll get it. And and I have to say, I never realized how hard it was acting till I did it myself. And my hat's off to you and the other actors would do it a lot more than I do. It's one of the most challenging and toughest jobs there is out there. Creating your character, and it's just so much blood, sweat, and tears what goes into it. I don't think a lot of people appreciate, what actors have to do to help, make their characters come alive.
Yes. But as you know, they also have to surround themselves with people like you, a manager, an agent, a lawyer, a publicist, a CPA, and all these people are around them trying to help them succeed in this business. Am I right?
Yes, it takes a village. It definitely takes a team effort.
Yes. I've seen some actors, and they think, I just need this, or I just need to be a good actor in that, and there's many digits in which open that safe, open up that combination. I remember I was talking to Ron Pennell once. He's a famous martial artist, and he started a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme called No Retreat, No Surrender. And it was a huge hit. It made several sequels. It made all kinds of money at the box office. I think it was #1 at the box office for a while there. And I turned to him, but after that, he never did nothing. And Jean-Claude Van Damme went on to be a star. And I asked him, I said, Ron, what happened? You was like one of the stars of that film. Why? I don't understand why I didn't do more for your career. And he told me at that time, he had a huge ego.
and he thought he just was in a big hit movie, and everything would come to him, and that's all he needed. And it was a big success at the box office. He said Jean-Claude Van Damme was smart. He ran over, got a publicist, he got an agent, he got a manager. He went over and got all these things, and that helped him to move on and take that momentum of that film and move forward to several other successes. And because it just takes, like I said, it takes a combination of things to keep pushing. You know, I know another actor, Barry Papick, his name is, and he told me one of his biggest mistakes was he did a movie with Howard Stern, Private Parts, which was a huge hit. And he had a big part in that film. And he told me one of his biggest regrets was he never got a publicist at that. He couldn't afford it at the time, but he said he never got one at that time. And he felt that would have made a bigger impact on his career if he could have, you know, used it to, you know, help him when he had something like that, something to push it in that. But it's just a number of things it takes to, you know, making this business.
I heard you use that three-letter word we talk about it all the time. We call it ego. You call it ego. I call it ego. It's something that you got to deal with in this business. It's the way it is.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. It's funny. I swear. You know, I've one thing I've noticed is that I've worked with some, you know, pretty famous, well-known stars like Fred the Hammer Williamson.
Yes.
And William Forsythe. And you know, Eric Robertson, so forth, and they're the most easiest going people in the world. The ones with the biggest egos is some of these, you know, people at the smaller at the bottom of the feed. You know, some of the up and coming actors and so forth. You know, it's amazing when you see the difference between them and then the people, you know, higher up there. You know, I had a friend, David Hefner. He did a lot of films for Showtime and HBO. He's worked with big stars like Tony Curtis and so forth. And I said, you know, I told him about some of these people, these egos, you know, how challenging it could be. And he told me, you know, in his experience, it was never the big stars like Karen Black or Tony Curtis that he worked with was the problems and the, you know, petty egos. He said it was you know, the smaller people, you know, like some of the newer talent, or, you know, some of the ones who just said, oh, I'm so pretty or I'm so good looking, but they just didn't have the credits to back it up. And but yeah, it can be challenging to deal with those types in this business, and that can destroy a career. I know. I don't know if you remember Don Red Barry. He used to call him Cowboy James Cagney. He started out with Republic Pictures, and he was a brilliant actor. He was really good, and he thought he was going to be a star. And but he was so difficult to work with that nobody wanted to work with him at the end, and it destroyed his career.
Wow. People have to learn. They have to
be
learn.
humble.
Yes, be humble. Yes, because
exactly.
In this time, in this town, in this business, you can be here today, gone tomorrow. Yep.
Exactly.
I'm an actor. How do I get to your office? How do I get in touch with you?
Well, I'm on IMDb. If you just go to IMDb, please check me out. And I manage and like I said, I do Publicist and managing, and also I did some producing as well. I've been blessed. I've had movies released by Lionsgate.
Yes.
We have a movie out on Netflix, Checkpoint. We had a great cast in that. It's been doing quite well. We had like Bill Goldberg, Fred the Hammer Williamson, William Forsythe. It was Ricky Harris's final film appearance before he passed on. I don't know if you remember Ricky Harris. He did Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. He was a brilliant stand-up comic. He passed away far too young. That was his one of the easiest and nicest people to work with too. Extremely talented, and he was taken away far too young.
Yes.
A brilliant stand-up comic, one of the best.
Right.
But yeah, I've been very blessed and lucky with the people I've gotten to work with, and God's put in my life. And you're one of the blessings too. I really appreciate you, and thank you once again for having Harley on. He had a great time on your show.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. For people who don't know, the name of his organization is the Williamson Management Group, and he has a website that people can get in touch with, get information from him at all times. What is a typical day for you, Joe?
It's usually emails, texts, meetings. It's a combination of things. I'm always either we have a project coming out, and so we're having to get get deals on, get ready for some press to help give it a push, with the trades, or getting ready for a premiere, or sometimes there's events, or sometimes it's in production with film. And right now we're wrapping up a film right now called Apex Predators 2. And it was from award-winning filmmaker Dustin Ferguson. And it's last one, the original one came out last year. It was a great success. It sold all over the world and did very well. And then the distributor came to us and said they wanted a sequel. So we're just wrapping up on a sequel right now. But like I said, it's constantly, I try and get something done every day, just moving forward, trying to advance and push our projects, get our other projects ready to go. And it's a never-ending thing. A lot of people forget once they do a movie, they just walk away and think, okay, that's it. You got to, keep pushing that film, when it comes out, because the greater, especially the actors, they don't understand is the more successful the film is, the better it is for them. You're only as good as your credits. It helps with your Google search, your IMDb numbers, and a combination of other things. And it's sometimes I've even seen it where they when they're doing the casting on the actors, a lot of times they'll check what their following is too. To that's a something they take in consideration as well. So it's just like I said, it's competition is fierce, and you need everything at your disposal to try and give you an edge.
Yes. I was looking up on your record. You have right now 5 in pre-production, 3 filming, 5 post-production, and 4 completed. That's just going on right now as we speak.
Yeah, it's super crazy busy. It's and which is a blessing. Because like I said, when you have nothing going on and there's nobody knocking on your door, that's not a good thing. But but no, thankfully, I've been very lucky and we have a lot of great projects going on. We have a new film out right now. It came out a few weeks ago, Amityville in the Hood, and it's been doing quite well. And so it's kind of like a new spin on the Amityville franchise. It's got a little bit more comedy in it too. It's a combination of some creepy, scary moments, and then there's some a little bit fun, goofy stuff put in there as well.
Okay.
And then it's where some marijuana was being grown in the Amityville house, and these gangsters steal it, and it's cursed marijuana, and so it goes out on the streets, and then the police is trying to shut it down and track it down, and meanwhile it's turning people into monsters and so forth. And then it's up to a couple of detectives to try and find a way to put it into the curse.
Okay.
But it's a nice new spin, and it's like a goofy, funny movie with a little bit with some comedy there as well.
Okay. Joe, we just happen to have a clip of that Amityville in the Hood. Tony, roll it, please.
Oh yeah.
This is Police Chief Malone. I'm calling from Amityville.
Did you say Amityville, where all those murders took place? The painting, the toy monkey? That Amityville?
Oh, hell no! Ain't this where that crazy ass white dude killed his whole family?
All right, so people get a chance to see what that new movie is. It's called Amityville in the Hood. Let's see, that was last year. You did 3 last year. Oh, some of the themes for some of these movies, how do you get them? Where do you get them from?
Well, it's just a combination. Like a lot of times our distributors will come to us and say, we are looking for this. And we'll see if we can't, depending on the filmmaker, if they can make what they're looking for.
Yes.
Just sometimes they'll say, oh, we want a new Amityville film, or we're looking for a giant monster film or an action film. And, or sometimes the investor, they'll go to us and so it's a combination of things such as that.
Gotcha.
And we just, we give them what the marketplace tells us what they want.
Yes.
And what's selling and trending at that moment.
I understand that you're doing your latest project is called Finding Nicole. This is based on the true life story of Nicole Beverly and her children surviving and overcoming domestic violence. Is that
yes,
correct?
That's with brilliant award-winning filmmaker Harley Wallen.
Yes.
It's a drama, and it's based on a true story. We're super excited about that. John Savage of Deer Hunter, he's attached to it. And then also it has Vita Ghaffari, who's from the Mindy Project, who's an up and rising star. And then also Kitty Wallen is in that as well. And I'm super excited about that. We're in production with that. I believe we're planning on shooting that. We're still in the production phase with that, but that's something I'm really looking forward to do. Like I said, it has a very important message, and she has an incredible story, and I cannot wait to start on that.
Joe, unfortunately, we ran out of time. I want to thank you personally for being here today. At the last minute, this gentleman, the person who was scheduled to come in this slot, had to do some work, and we called on Joe, and he came right here, and here he is here today. And thank you very, very much. Definitely, Joe. Thank you. We definitely look forward to having some. Definitely. You said something. I'm sorry, sir.
No, thank you so much for having me on. I'm honored, and it's always a pleasure.
Indeed. Definitely look forward to having some of your clients here on TAC, and we sincerely thank you. Best wishes to you, Joe Williamson. Thank you. Want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Benman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actors Space. And much, much thanks to our guest today, singer, actress, playwright Scherrie Payne, entertainment PR strategist, publicist, founder, Espada PR, Jasmin Espada, and publicist, producer, manager, Joe Williamson. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.